between a Japanese superstar and his English-speaking teammates and fans. But prosecutors say that Ippei Mizuhara used the language barrier to steal tens of millions of dollars from Shohei Ohtani. Just yesterday, Mizuhara pleading guilty to bank and tax fraud. So to help break down the case, Internet's favorite court reporter and insider, Meghann Cuniff. Meghann, good to have you back here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. All right, Shohei Ohtani, arguably the most popular player in the world, just signed the biggest sports contract ever. Let's talk about the key takeaways from this case.
Yeah, we are looking at a pretty fast investigation and turnaround in a plea agreement for a federal bank fraud case. This was presented to the U.S. Attorney's Office a few months ago after Shohei Ohtani had presented this to the public as he'd found this out and been betrayed by his ex-interpreter. And within a couple of months, there was charges filed. And then his interpreter had basically admitted it in text messages. And then also after he was charged, his lawyer didn't indicate that there was going to be a big fight on these charges. And then pretty soon we had a plea agreement. And yesterday's court appearance, which we just saw at the tail end of the media circus of, that was the culmination of the plea agreement. That was when he actually pleaded guilty to the two charges of bank fraud and then subscribing to a false tax return related to some of the embezzlement that he didn't report.
All right, that context really helps break down, because it did seem like this was going very fast. Usually some of these things could take years as we see a plea agreement or some type of agreement on this. So thanks for that update. So sentencing for Mizuhara is set for October. Are we thinking jail time, restitution, deportation? I know there's a few options here.
Yes, a case like this does definitely typically bring a few years in prison at least. It's connected to the dollar amount of the bank fraud. And here it's almost $17 million. And just the plea agreement that he has with prosecutors and the promises that they've made about what they're going to agree to and give him credit for acceptance of responsibility, it gives him a sentencing range in federal prison of about 57 to 71 months, which is obviously a lot less than the 33 years maximum that we're seeing, but that's still a substantial amount of time in prison. There's a chance that prosecutors could recommend below that. And even if prosecutors don't recommend below that, defense could still move for something below that, and the judge could decide to give him something below that. But prosecutors obviously have a lot of power in their recommendation here, and we have not heard one way or the other what exactly they're going to recommend. If they're going to recommend a departure below the 57 months, but Martina Estrada, who's the top U.S. attorney in Los Angeles, did have a press conference yesterday where he said that a prison sentence is likely here, which obviously is not a guarantee, but I don't think he's in a position to comment one way or the other on what exactly the recommendation is going to be. But I would expect to see some kind of prison time here. It's just a big question of how much.
All right, there's so much to talk about. I know we had another MLB player banned for life for betting just yesterday. Of course, we ran out of time to talk about that. But we, of course, will keep the conversation going as we talk to you next time. Meghann Cuniff, court reporter, independent journalist, thank you for joining us here on the stream.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.